Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2, Episode 6, A Fractured House. And that was the perfect title for this episode, because this episode was extremely intense. It created a lot of problems for Coulson's team, definitely, to reform S.H.I.E.L.D. It created a lot of problems for them. And I personally love this episode. Definitely the second best episode of the season. I did think last week's episode was stronger, in my opinion. Just, I thought it was structured better. I liked the idea of it more last week. I was more into it. However, this episode was still amazing. I loved it, and I thought it was still a great episode, especially the ending. The ending was huge to the episode, and I really liked that this episode, while the past few episodes have focused on one agent per episode, this one did not do that. However, it did focus on a very important character, and that was Grant. This episode focused a lot more on Grant, and basically that's what happened in this episode. So, let's just get to it. So, Talbot is recounting the events of the Avengers in front of United Nations Committee, and he says they thought they could trust S.H.I.E.L.D., but that's not the case. The delegate from Italy asked for proof, and a group of S.H.I.E.L.D. agents burst in, kill the Italian delegate by disintegration, and take over the building. So, here's the thing, though. How are there still S.H.I.E.L.D. agents? Because S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone. That's what I was wondering. I'm like, how is there still S.H.I.E.L.D.? So, Jemma and Skye are watching Ward go through his morning routine until, they're watching Grant go through his morning routine until Melinda comes in with the news of the attack. So, Coulson believes it's Whitehall trying to turn the public against S.H.I.E.L.D., which it basically is. Because, there are no S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Obviously, those are probably people they hired to make themselves look better. I think that's what happened. I don't think those are actual S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. I agree with Coulson. So, Jemma recognizes this weapon from her time at Hydra because, they did have a weapon there, and she basically realizes this is the same weapon. And Bobbi knows the scientist responsible, Toshiro Mori. Now, of course, it's really good having Jemma and Bobbi here because they were at Hydra and they know what's going on there. So, Coulson sends Bobbi and Lance to find him, which, of course, is very awkward for Lance because he doesn't want to work with Bobbi right now, obviously, which is definitely very funny. So, Talbot reports to a senator about the incident. The senator is very angry that Talbot has failed after receiving such large amounts of funding, and Talbot accuses the senator of simply being worried the public will find out about his brother. The senator's name is Christian Ward. Now, that's huge, because Grant's last name is Ward. So, yes, we do find out that this is his brother. We meet Grant's brother, who is a lot more rational than he is. He is not someone who's going to betray them, and basically, I thought that was an awesome twist. I love finding that out. I thought that was really good, and I wasn't expecting that, but I definitely really enjoyed that, and I appreciated that. I thought that was very well done. So, Christian is on television ranting about S.H.I.E.L.D. He's literally just ranting about them, and basically just trying to turn the public against them. And Coulson and Skye are watching and wondering if Christian is Talbot's senator with deep pockets. So Skye decides to go see if she can get information from Grant because, she's the closest with Grant and she's met up with Grant all those other times. So I knew that this wasn't actually going to work out well. I knew for a fact this really was not going to work. But basically, Coulson contacts an agent, Walters, in the Netherlands and tells her to go dark. That's what he tells her to do. So Bobbi's trying to make small talk with Lance. Obviously, it's very awkward by them, and she recognizes that. She recognizes that it's very awkward. She recognizes that he really does not want to talk to her right now. He's reciprocating. She's heard the terrible stories that Lance has been telling about her, and, he has been telling really terrible stories. Things get very intense, and it leads to, Bobbi going to the cockpit with Melinda, and she asks if Melinda has ever been married. Melinda says she has, but doesn't speak to him anymore. And I'm still shipping Melinda and Coulson. I'm still pulling for them. The moment she said that, I'm like, you will be married, because I do feel that her and Coulson are going to get married. Just episode 4, people. Come on. Episode 4, they had so much chemistry. So I really like seeing that. And I really love that they're taking more of a comedic approach to this. I like that we're not supposed to take this as seriously, because we actually do have some issues that we do need to take seriously. And that's Fitz and Jemma. Basically, Jemma joins Fitz in the lab, and she has the hard drive she took from Hydra, because we know she took that hard drive, and she asks for Fitz help examining it. And she says it needs to be repaired before they can access it. And you can see that Fitz is a very different person now. First of all, he is still getting over the fact that she's actually back. He still is getting over the fact that, okay, she's real. She's not, I'm not imagining this. She's actually here right now. And I thought that was a very well done scene, because here's the thing. He has had a very hard time, letting go of her leaving, and now that she's back, it's even more awkward for him, because he just got over her. He just got over her, he had that talk with Grant and everything, and it seemed like he was over her, and now she's back in his life, and he's not exactly happy about that. So I can understand definitely why he's upset about that. So Grant then talks to Skye, and he tells Skye that she needs to stay away from Christian. By all means, she needs to stay away from him. That he's not what he seems, and will use them to get to him. He tries to warn her that they're in danger if Christian knows where he is. And he brings up Skye's father again. Now, of course, her father is the Doctor, who I think is just probably the best villain on this show right now. We didn't see the Doctor in this episode, but I thought he was definitely an awesome villain. And she says that her father is a murderer. Definitely, he's a murderer. Letting Grant know that she's found him, and, he now knows this. So, Coulson shows up, shuts the conversation down, accusing Skye of slipping. And, basically, we can see that he is giving her some good information. But the thing at this point is, I don't really know if he's, we can trust him at this point. And I think it's very interesting. I like the way they're playing this. We are just as confused as S.H.I.E.L.D. is. Should we trust him? Or is he just giving them useless bullshit and just trying to make himself look good? I don't know. So, Melinda, Bobbi, and Lance make a plan. Bobbi's just going to go in with her Hydra cover. So, her dye her hair black and everything. And she meets Maury, and they kiss. And Bobbi and Maury sit down for tea, and Maury brings up the rumor that she works for S.H.I.E.L.D. And Bobbi is deflecting by pointing out that Hydra's pretending to be S.H.I.E.L.D., which I think, of course, is very interesting, because, there is no S.H.I.E.L.D., of course, which I find it very interesting that Hydra is just, now they're trying to turn against S.H.I.E.L.D. to the point where they're acting as S.H.I.E.L.D. to make people think that S.H.I.E.L.D. is that bad. And she asks about his weapons. He says they're called splinter bombs, and that they came from an old Hydra tech that he got from Whitehall. And he says he was given access to the Diviner. And Lance intercepts a message to Maury's security showing Bobbi helping Jemma escape. So he goes in, and he and Bobbi take out the security, and they argue about it. And Melinda interrupts them. They picked up that Hydra was going after Beckers, and Belgian politician who supports S.H.I.E.L.D. But again, of course, there is no S.H.I.E.L.D. They're just making this up, basically, and they're doing a good job with it, I gotta say. Even though Hydra's losing, they are quite smart with what they're doing, definitely, I do have to say that. So, basically, that's what they're gonna do. They have this whole plan going, and, I thought that was definitely a very interesting scene. So, Jemma and Fitz are still working on the hard drive, and Jemma keeps trying to help Fitz finish his sentences, but getting it wrong. Because, Fitz is still affected by that underwater. Not only was his, memory affected, where the point where he saw divisions of Jemma, his speech was affected. Him almost dying underwater, basically. Fitz is voicing his frustration. He's upset that Jemma left, accuses her of giving up on him. That's why she left, basically. And, I think that kind of makes sense, but here's the thing. We don't exactly know why she left. I did not watch Season 1. I only watched the finale, so I don't know why she left. Maybe you guys can leave a comment down below why you think she left, but Jemma walks away as Mac enters, and basically, we don't really know why she left. Now, I'm interested in seeing definitely why she did end up leaving. So, Christian Ward walks into his room, and I thought this was an amazing scene. Coulson's there talking to him, and I thought this was just such a great scene when we saw it here. Coulson is waiting, and Coulson introduces himself. And he hands Christian a speech that he's made some edits to. And Christian tries to call out. He can tell that Coulson is not a happy guy. He can tell this is not going to be a happy conversation. He can tell that Coulson is pretty pissed at him, and which he is understandable. I mean, they're making it seem like S.H.I.E.L.D's, bad people when there is no S.H.I.E.L.D. But Coulson has the phone blocked and says the security won't be checking up on him. So Christian says he won't change sides on S.H.I.E.L.D. because the people need a simple enemy. So Coulson which I guess kind of makes sense. So Coulson brings up Grant and tells Christian that he has Grant in the basement. And Skye turns off the surveillance in Grant's cell and goes to speak with him again. And Coulson tells Christian that he knows all the terrible things he did because of what Grant told him. And Christian says it's all lies, and at the same time, Grant is telling Skye that everything Christian is saying is a manipulation. And basically we see that everything, and basically here's where we find out that Grant, yes, is lying. He's not telling the truth here. He is basically making it seem like he's the good guy, which he is not, and Christian is recounting his childhood, saying he could never leave Grant alone with Thomas, their youngest brother, because he would attack him like a man possessed, which does make sense. Definitely Grant is a very violent man, and I think this is definitely shows that. And Skye asks Grant about her father, and Grant tells her that her father has killed people, but only because he loves her, which is pretty much a load of shit. I mean, we know that her father does care about her. I don't think he did everything he did just to protect her. Good one, Grant, but I'm not gonna buy that. I don't think that's true at all. I don't think that her father just did these things because he loved her. I don't think that's why he did that. We do know he's been searching her all this time, but I think that's pretty much a load of shit. Definitely. I don't trust Grant anymore. I really don't. I was very sketchy about him from the beginning, but now we officially know we can't trust him. So basically, we see, that he says the villagers that the doctor killed were really Hydra agents who killed Skye's mother. And Grant says he can only help her find him if they go together. Now, knowing everything that Grant knows about her father, Skye reveals that Grant is being transferred to Christian's custody, because that was their plan here. He's being transferred to Christian's custody, and Christian is going to imprison him, basically, and that's where he's going. He's no longer going to be in their prison, he's going to Christian's custody, which I thought was an amazing twist, because basically, I thought that was awesome what they're doing there. I thought that was just fantastic, and I personally loved that. I thought that was definitely really well done. Like, really, they're very smart there with what they did, and I definitely really enjoyed that. So Coulson tells Melinda that he struck a deal with Christian. It did work, and Melinda's team is en route to intercept the Hydra agents going after Becker's, and those Hydra agents receive Becker's location. So Jemma brings some tea back to the lab and finds that Fitz and Jemma have figured out what Fitz was piecing together in the back files. And they trace the bombs back to Vincent Becker's, and Jemma says they need to find Coulson because they found out the information. Now, again, it is still very awkward between them. You can tell it's very awkward, and it's not going to get any easier. And Coulson's then talking with Grant, and Grant says he thought they were rebuilding trust and that Grant was still on his team, and I personally thought that as well. I personally thought that Grant was still on his team and Grant was going to help them, but Coulson doesn't say he's not. He didn't say that, look, he did not completely say, look, I'm not, he didn't say that, look, you're not on my team. He didn't completely disown him, but what he basically says to him is that, Ward says Christian, he says that Christian is using him to gain political power, but Coulson says he's aware of what he's doing. And Tripp comes and finds him. And I think even though they don't know if they can trust Christian, they can trust him more than they can Grant. Basically, they did what they need to do with Christian. Only what they're trying to do is, they're just trying to make it, they're trying to make them not make S.H.I.E.L.D. look like a thing anymore. They want them to say the truth and basically not lie. That's what their plan was. So, I do understand what Grant's trying to do here. At the same time, though, I don't really trust him. I really don't. Not after what Christian said. I don't trust him. And the thing is, though, is he really still a part of Coulson's team? I don't really know. Coulson's very sketchy at this point with what he's supposed to do here. If I was Coulson, I probably would be very sketchy because I wouldn't really know what to do either. So I agree with Coulson. Like, it's a very sort of like, mixed up question as should he trust him or not. I don't know if he should. So the team explains that Vincent Becker's is Julian Becker's grandfather, and that he's likely still Hydra's ally. He's still working with Hydra. And Coulson says they've been played, and they need to reroute Melinda and team to their Belgian safe house. So Walters walks into their safe house and finds Becker's there. Her agents are dead, and Coulson realizes that Becker's was claiming his country was safe to lure S.H.I.E.L.D. agents into a trap, and the Hydra agents they believe were going to kill Becker's and kill Walters instead. So I thought that was extremely intense what happened there. I was not expecting that, and they basically were played. So then Lance enters the safe house, pretending to be a merc looking to turn S.H.I.E.L.D. agents over to Hydra, and I thought this was just an awesome plan. Bobbi and Melinda burst in through the windows, and a fight breaks out. Melinda's doing her badass thing that she did in episode 4, which I love. I gotta say, Melinda, as I said, kicks a lot of ass. Bobbi's kicking a lot of ass too, really, a lot of ass being kicking right here. And Lance saves Bobbi from catching a splinter bomb, which was interesting because the fact that he doesn't really like her, I do think they do still have feelings for each other, definitely. You can tell that they do have mutual respect for each other. I don't know if they still have feelings, but I feel they have mutual respect for each other. They do want to work together, and I feel that even though that whole thing is being played as very, very funny, I like how lighthearted it's being portrayed because at the end of the day, they do have respect for each other, and they are on the same team, and they are acknowledging that. I definitely really enjoy that. So they then call Coulson and fill him in on the casualties, and basically they tell him what just happened and that everything's okay pretty much. So Jemma approaches Mac in the garage. She thanks him for helping Fitz, and Mac says he doesn't need help. Mac says the only thing that seems to make Fitz worse is Jemma. And Jemma says she knows this, and that's why she left. So, basically, that's why she left and everything, and now we know that that's the reason why she left. And I thought that was great that we found out because we didn't really know why she left. So, I thought that was very well done. Because basically what we're seeing is that Fitz is worse because of Jemma. So maybe Fitz and Jemma can't work together, but I do feel there has to be a way for the two of them to work together. Because I like seeing the two of them together. Gemma's trying to get Fitz's, to trust her again. And try to get on the same path she was with Fitz. But things have changed, and I agree with Mac that her being there is breaking Fitz, basically. Because he just had all those visions of her. And now that she's back, it's just hard for him to really, to understand the difference between real and reality. He can't tell the difference right now. So then what ends up happening is Coulson brings guards for Grant's transfer. Very intense scene right here. I forgot to get to this part. Lance is planning on leaving. He's packing his things. He's set to leave, wanting to keep out of Bobbi's way, because he's basically saying, look, we can't work together. Bobbi tells him not to die out there, but if he wants to stay, he should stay. So, my question is he going to stay? I don't know if he's going to stay. I think he is. Lance is slowly becoming my favorite character, I gotta say. I loved his character in this episode. I thought he was hilarious, and I'm really loving everything going on with this character, so Lance is definitely close to my favorite character, definitely. And I do agree that, with Bobbi, that if he wants to stay, he should stay, and he needs to make a choice, because if he doesn't stay, maybe he's going to betray him to Hydra. I don't know if he's going to betray him to Hydra. We knew he worked for Hydra, so maybe he will, but I don't know. We'll have to see. And then we get the very end of the episode, which is very sad, definitely, because Coulson brings guards for Grant's transfer, and Christian holds a press conference at the United Nations referencing the attack, and basically says that even though S.H.I.E.L.D. is gone, Hydra is now the enemy to stop, and I really like that he basically said the truth, and Grant's leaving, and Jemma tells him that if she ever sees him again, she will kill him. So, she will kill him, and that's really intense because she does not trust him. Talbot tells Melinda that they got Beckers at the border, and Melinda says they lost 6 agents, and Talbot shows sympathy and shakes her hand. They do have mutual respect for each other, as you can see. And Christian announces that his brother was a treacherous member of Hydra, and Coulson warns the guards not to give Grant an inch. Don't give him an inch because he's not telling the truth and, he betrayed them. So Grant tells Coulson to let Skye know this doesn't change anything. He'll still keep his promise. Still keep his promise to her. Of course, his promise is that he's going to help her look for her father. He promised her that, but I don't know if he's going to keep that promise. I don't know if Skye wants him to keep that promise, because I don't feel Skye really cares about that right now. What she cares about is not having the public say this shit about S.H.I.E.L.D., basically. So Christian says he'll make sure his brother is punished for his crimes, and I thought that was great. Then we see, but then at the very end of the episode, Grant slips out of his handcuffs, takes out the guards, and definitely he is going to do some serious damage with S.H.I.E.L.D. I don't know if he's going to hurt S.H.I.E.L.D., but I do feel that he is going to help Skye look for her father. That's why he's doing this. I feel that's what he cares about at this point, is helping Skye, because he does have genuine feelings for Skye. You can definitely tell he does. So I'm definitely thinking that's what's going to happen there, and I'm really looking forward to that, definitely. I thought that was a perfect way in the end of the episode. Then we saw some exclusive footage of Avengers Age of Ultron, which I gotta say, that was hilarious. I love seeing that footage of Age of Ultron. I think it looks very funny. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it looks like it's gonna be, really, really amazing movie. I love seeing the trailer too. But the clip they showed was absolutely hilarious. It was basically like Tony Stark trying to pull Thor's hammer. It makes sense why they showed it in this episode, because they referenced the Avengers in the beginning of the episode, so it makes sense. And then we get to the post-credit scene, which is definitely very interesting, and kind of makes me think about a few things. Because a man walks into a tattoo parlor to finish off a tattoo. And the tattoo he's getting looks just like Coulson's mysterious alien writing. So, how is this guy related to Coulson? That's what I want to know. I don't know how he is, but somehow this guy's related to Coulson, and I'm very interested in seeing how he is related to Coulson. That's going to be interesting to see what happens there. This episode was amazing. I loved it. Definitely the second best episode of the season. I did think last week's was a little bit better. I was just into it more, but there are a lot of things I definitely want to talk about. First of all, does Coulson still think of Grant as a member of his team? I don't know. Judging by what he said, I don't think so. You know, judging by what he said to them at the very end of the episode with them saying don't give him a single inch, I don't think he trusts him anymore. I think he pretty much has lost his trust and he's betrayed him. So, is Christian really going to help S.H.I.E.L.D. or is he going to turn on them like Grant said? Should they actually be worried about what Grant said? I don't know. I do feel that Grant is going to help Skye look for the doctor. And I think that is what he's going to do. I feel that's why he tried to break out of the cuffs, because he cares about her more than anything. And I think that's really why he did that. And if that's why he did that, that's going to be very interesting. My other question is Lance going to stay? I really hope he does, because I love seeing Lance as part of this team. He's one of the best parts of the team by far. He adds so much to the show. He's so funny to watch. He's a great character. He's definitely probably my favorite character on the show right now. I love his character to death, and I think he's hilarious. I love seeing the tension between him and Bobbi. That's also really funny to watch. The man that's connected to Coulson, I don't know how he's connected to Coulson. Maybe he's the guy who wrote that writing on the painting in the last episode. Now, I do know that we're not going to get another episode till November 10th, unfortunately, which is really sad because I love seeing the show and I'm really going to miss not having it for a week. But I guess all I'll have next week is Sons of Anarchy and Awkward, okay? Because there's no Flash and no Agents S.H.I.E.L.D. All right, whatever. I don't know why, but there just isn't. I don't know what's on next. Oh, because of the Marvel thing that's on next week. There's actually a Marvel special. I don't know why the fuck they're choosing to air this next week, but they should just air it, like, Christmas time when the show goes on mid-season. Like, seriously, why do you need to air this now? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is so good right now, and I don't want to miss a week. Like, seriously, why do you have to skip a week? It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think that's pretty much it for all I really have to say about this video, guys. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Overall, I thought this was a great episode. Once again, I loved it. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Also, what did you guys think of the Avengers Age of Ultron scene we got? I thought that was hilarious to watch. That's in my review. Hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Sons of Anarchy, which I'm going to watch right now. So I'll see you guys. By the way, guys, I know these reviews are delayed tonight. I don't know what the fuck is going on with YouTube, but these reviews are taking forever to upload. I don't know why. They just are. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why they're taking forever to upload. They just are, and I'm very upset about that. I really want to be able to get these reviews out as soon as I can. I'm doing the best I can here, but my YouTube is being a bitch, and I don't know if it's my internet or what it is, but ever since yesterday, it's been doing this, and I don't know why. So I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be for Sons of Anarchy. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.